Milestones are wonderful markers on which to look back. And for 25 years, we've been blessed to don our mossy oak and live out our passions as stewards of the land, sharing our insights, our successes, and our failures. The culmination of what makes us who we are today. Overseeing the growth of our farms, our families, and the people we are proud to call friends. And thank you for once again inviting us into your hunting experience. We are proud to be Drury's. And we are truly proud to present 100% Wild Fair Chase, Volume 14.
Hi, and welcome to 100% Wild, 100% Fair Chase, Volume 14. When we initially started this particular video series, we were committed to making it the most informative video series we'd ever done. In the past, we've broken down different parts of the whitetail season and different parts of whitetail behavior and gone into them piece by piece. Now, within this series, we're going to take it hunt by hunt. There's going to be lots of information from the Drury Outdoors team all along the way, so hopefully by the time you finish this production, you have become a better hunter. That's our goal. We want to make you a better hunter. Terry and I talk about it and we joke about it. We're not very funny, we're not very good looking, but we do know some things about whitetail deer, and we hope to share them with you right now in 100% Wild Volume 14.
This year we had a lot of big bucks on the farm, but there was one buck in particular that I had my eye on, and his name was Willie Wonka. We'd found both sides of his shed antlers. He was just a giant deer, then he always seemed to come out early. If we noticed that he would show up and he was heading to a tree coy and several different food plots, he was a buck that we were targeting.
Well, that was the buck we came after. That's the one we got on pictures of. And he came out early. Everything was perfect. He got to about 59 yards in my rangefinder, but he just didn't come any closer, and he turned and went north.
Well, we had a close encounter on the 24th with Brandon, but I knew that this wasn't going to be the only time we saw Wonka. He was a regular at this food plot coming into the tree coy. I knew there was a pretty good chance we're going to see him again.
Well, that tree coy is destroyed. Mark, I want to thank you for giving us all the idea to put those tree coys out. I put them in every single food plot I have. They work great because the bucks actually make a scrape under them. And in this case, he's making a rub out of it. It draws them closer to these box pines or stand, whatever you have. I know a lot of people have had the idea, but you gave me the idea to do it at every single one. And it's definitely helped our hunting this year and our cameras, because we put the Reconyx camera on the box pine facing the tree coy. And we've gotten tons and tons of pictures. It's October 26th. It's here. It's a beautiful, crisp morning. It's about 40 degrees. We got a north-northwest wind. We're hunting a little clover plot. It's only about a half an acre. We're trying to catch these deer as they come back from the bottom grain fields, and they're coming back to their timber to bed. And this is a little food plot sitting right here amongst their bedding areas. So that's the plan this morning. come springtime, those gobblers are gonna be in trouble. Here's a little buck coming out over here. We're just waiting on Wonka, Willie Wonka, that is. He should be out any minute if he's on schedule. I can see Willie Wonka in the timber. He's standing about 3 feet back there just watching the field. And there's 2 little bucks playing around right in front of him. He's right here already about 35 yards. Let's see what happens. Here comes out. Watch the sun, buddy. The sun is in that lens. Holy shit, this is the first one not here. Did that just happen, buddy? Willie Wonka. That's a 3-year quest. We've been waiting. We watched him at 3 years old. We watched him at 4 years old. I passed him last year. Man, I just shot him at, I don't know, I put my first pin. He was so close, 18 yards maybe. That's the deer we came out. We had Reconics, thank you very much. I owe you big time because we wouldn't have killed that deer. I wouldn't have known he was hanging out right here if it wasn't for Reconics. Man, that is awesome. This is the earliest I've ever killed a buck. Let's go get him, buddy. Yes, sir.
I think he fell right over here by this blowdown. That's probably about 100, and maybe a little over 100 yards. Let's go get him. Well, we looked for blood for over 30 minutes. We can't find any. We're confident he's got to be here, so basically we're grid searching this area. We're about 200 yards away from where I shot him. That's all we can do. With that shot, I'm confident that it's a dead deer. We know he's going to be here. We're going to be here as long as it takes to find him. We didn't get my first reaction on film, but I just spotted him. He's right down there. He's in the bottom of that ditch. Yeah! Oh man, we did it. Let me get a tag on him right now. This is the characteristic that got his name right here. When he was 3 years old, he had a real defined W right here. I know a lot of bucks have that, but this one was real defined when he was 3. And it looked like a big W, and we started calling him Willie, and then it turned into kind of Willie Wonka. Look at that cool, like white in his antler right there. That's not much of a chocolate factory. That's a little vanilla in there. Well, we moved him up here on the bank so you can get a better look at him. He is a giant. I tell you what, managing is one of my favorite things to do because you actually get to see them grow from year to year. You try to find their sheds. It's so worth it when you actually do. Most of the time you don't. you're not able to get one of these deer. They die, or you know, EHD kills them, whatever it might be. But in this instance, it worked. And when it does work, it's pretty special. And I can't say enough about managing deer and the fun I have making the food plots, trying to figure out where to put the tree stands. It's just a special thing to me. As a landowner, I'm very blessed in that situation that I'm able to have some land of my own. It's a special thing when you get a deer like this.
It's the 31st of July, 2013. 3 of my 4 grandkids and I are on the way in to pick up the Benchy that we won, the Benchy Bighorn 700. I won that by having the most points last year. I filmed 8 deer kills, and Zach filmed me shoot a pretty nice deer. Tickled to death to win it. It's really a nice prize. The kids and I are all looking forward to, you know, getting in it and driving it around. So I guess I'm just a big kid at heart too, because it's really got me pumped. Brian Luce.
Yeah.
This
Benchy.
is from Benchy.
Yeah.
And he's on his way to Texas, but on the stop, he's going to drop off our new Bighorn 700. I want to see it.
All right, let's get it unloaded.
Okay.
Oil filter. Check your oil right here. 7-gallon fuel tank on it. You got a bracket right here, so when you're using the winch control a lot, you can stick it right there.
Well, Zachy, I'm tickled pink. This is like a kid with a new toy. So,
Glad you get to get it.
shoot another one. Here we go, round 2. We got Andrew Den in the back seat. He's our shooter tonight, opening day of youth season 2013 here in North Missouri. There's some big bucks moving around, and you know, thank God for the Reconyx cameras. We know the deer are there. They're just not showing themselves. So we're in the blind tonight, which was a new blind we built to sort of commemorate Andrew having an encounter with Lucky last year. We're gonna see what happens tonight. Andrew's up to bat. Opening day of youth season, Andrew and I did not see a deer in the daylight this morning. We hunt the Centerfield Shooting House, which is really, really rare. It's full of biologic. You got a brand new blind. You're the first one hunting it. We can shoot out of the front or the back. We just have to flip the windows around and spin you around, okay?
Okay.
And we went out to the house and shot the gun, so you're ready to rip. It's a year and a half and a 2. That's a buck too. The first one's a buck too. The second one might be, I don't know. The second one's a buck. I know. I just have much down. You might have to He's gonna walk right out. Just stay on him, okay? He's in the brush now. There's a little brush there. He'll come now.
There's the
He'll come
little
out
buck.
next to the little buck.
got him. I got him.
You got him, I heard it.
I got him. I saw him.
How about them apples? You old knucklehead. So much for that lucky deer last year. What do you think about that, Andrew?
I don't know.
Did you like it?
Yes.
That's awesome, buddy.
Woo. That right there reminds me of Bruiser. When I was looking at pictures, I said that was the one I was going to shoot.
That was one you was going to shoot.
Same thing that I did with Bruiser.
What do you think he went in?
You see that gap in between the two trees?
Andrew just shot a monster deer. I think he's almost as good as Bruiser, okay? That you got a couple years ago. Give me 5. We looked right at dark, didn't find any blood. I went back and got Mom and little sister and the benchy, and we're gonna try to just sort of spread out and go in here and see what we can find. Get your light here and let's go. Yeah, look here, Andrew. Here, it's going this way. He's spraying it out. Oh, look here, Andrew.
Just keep following it. Look at that.
We got the tag right here to put on his. Oh, look at there. Get over here, Andrew. Hey, remember a couple years ago when you shot Bruiser? You couldn't count very well?
Yeah.
Let's see how many we got on this one. And consider one's broke off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6,
6,
7,
7, 8,
9, 10.
11,
What about that one?
12.
12 pointer. Give me 5. Hug me. Oh, you little goober. What a night. Sweet, sweet November. Zach and I hunted last night, saw one antlerless. We hunted basically all day today with nothing. Andrew's a trooper. We got back in the new shooting house we built after the encounter with Lucky last year. About quarter till 6 tonight, it all started happening. We had a 2.5 and a 1.5 old buck run in early, and they fed into biologic a little bit. Another antlerless came in. Next thing you know, we look up and this big guy dogged a doe in, had another 3.5-year-old buck with him. Make a long story short, we got the kill. And Andrew, this is the second big deer that you've killed down here. And this was in the same field you killed your first deer in when you were 6, and you're 9 now. And what's this, your 4th buck?
Yeah,
What do you think about all this?
it's awesome.
Awesome. That's a good word. Okay.
Well, after a busy summer on the farm, complete with the produce business and the fall market, so it's really hard for me to get out and do any hunting until November 1st. But I was really pumped to get back in the woods. I haven't taken a deer with my bow and arrow for, well, 3 years. Last year I did manage to take the biggest buck of my career with a Thompson Center. Great big, 200 and almost 2 inches. Still living off of that one, and I can't wait to get back in the woods and see what happens. My favorite tool to use is probably the Reconyx cameras. And this year I was getting some really neat pictures. One we called a throwback buck, but he has beautiful throwbacks on both G2s. Beautiful buck, but I've decided I really want that buck to make it one more year. Well, I couldn't believe it. On the first morning out, who's the first deer I see that day? It's the throwback buck.
Not a bad way to start my first morning of the year. Gorgeous buck. Call that one the throwback buck. I really want him to make it one more year. Definitely a homeboy's cord right in here.
A little while later, a big, wide 10-pointer came through right underneath the stand. I was hesitant, wasn't sure if I was gonna take him or not, but I'm thinking, man, if I get another shot at that big buck, I'm gonna take him. I wasn't gonna pass him a second time. Well, the combines were getting started up in the area, and usually right after that, the bucks move into the timber and are more secluded and a little easier to hunt. Habitat was shrinking because the combines were combining corn all over the place, and we're just hoping that something would come out along the edge of the woods and give us an opportunity.
November 5th. Beautiful morning. Combined a bunch of the corn last night. They jumped a giant buck in here. Something could happen this morning.
Meh. Meh.
He's done. Beautiful buck. November 5th, big 10-pointer. We had underneath the tree the other day. I haven't shot a deer in 4 years. This will be the first season with my bow. I'm happy with that buck. Beautiful buck. Great shot, Joe. Yeah, I think I just smoked him. I planted these trees about 13 years ago, and it connects this whole area. It comes right down into a little pinch point here. Boy, the couple deer followed it in pretty, and then here he came. Ray just do a lot of damage. I don't think he went 20 yards here. Thanks for coming, Mark. My pleasure. Got this new big game safety vest. I really like it a lot. Thing's awesome. Easy to put on. I've been up and down that big oak a lot of times. A lot of memories in there. Nocturnal knock. Right up here glowing. Boy, he's a bruiser. Pretty sure it went right through his head. Here's the tip coming out.
Yeah, perfect shot, Joe.
This nocturnal lake. I've had trouble with lights in the past. I've never had a failure on this one.
Well, it's November 5th, and I finally got a big buck on the ground, a big beautiful 10-pointer here in Wisconsin. Mark and I had an encounter with this buck on November 2nd, my first morning out. I decided that if I had another encounter with this buck, I was going to go ahead and try to harvest him, and today he gave me a perfect shot opportunity, quartering away at about 15 yards, and big old hole that Rage makes. It's unbelievable. That deer didn't know what hit him. Look right behind you, Mark. You got a buck running down the trail at us. Little buck coming right down this trail. It's extra special when you harvest a deer like this on your farm, when you planted and did so much work. I planted all these trees here, over 110,000 pine trees on the farm now. And when they use it like this, and I leave these overhanging branches like this, and they're using this as a major rutting core, makes it feel extra special. Big old buck like this comes in through the pines that you planted, makes it all that much more special. Hear them combines starting back up. Habitat's been shrinking every day. My doe numbers probably doubled overnight. And that, along with the does, the big ones come in, and that's what we have here. Great morning to be in the woods.
I waited 4 years to get this Iowa tag. I've got a lease, I'm ready. Rodney goes down, puts out some cameras for me. And how many shooters do we have? 0. I was distraught. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but we got a phone call from the farmer. He said, you know what? I've got 40 more acres that he kept for himself and decided that he was gonna allow us to go up and hunt that 40 acres. We got in here about 2 or 3 o'clock. We weren't expecting any kind of movement.
I'm trying to put my GoPro right here, so that ain't gonna be in your way. Doug, there's a big buck right there, like 40 yards, right there. Can I move? Yes, go, go, go. Just pile drive that joker right there. Thank you, Rod.
You're welcome, buddy.
It looked like I was in there good, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, it looked good.
I got my GoPro going, but I didn't even have time to put it on the tree. Is this really happening? Heck yeah, it's happening. 7 yards, 2-blade hypodermic, and there's blood everywhere from the get-go. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, this deer did not give us a whole lot of time to get ready. We had just hung that set, crawled in the stand. I'm trying to get my stuff together, get a GoPro on the tree. Rodney starts saying, big buck, big buck. He was almost too close for comfort, but when he decided to leave, I ended up getting a hypodermic rage in there. It all worked out, and all's well that ends well. We're on to the next state.
On our first trip down to Iowa, we encountered a really nice mature buck on our last afternoon. We ran out of daylight before we could close the deal. Before leaving town, we had stopped by to check out our new redesigned biologic food plot, and there was proof of deer traffic everywhere, so the first west wind, I knew where we'd be going.
Down in Iowa, we got a northwest wind. It's about 48, 49 degrees. But actually we're hunting a brand new plot right here, Deerman Hammered, so hopefully we'll have some good luck.
Checked all the does and pushed off every buck we could see. This went on for 45 minutes, coming and going off the biologic food plot. His attitude was as big as his rack. Unfortunately, I could never get a shot off and my disappointment set in. I knew we would be back once we got the right wind. Now we've got the right wind, it's time to dive in. Well, it's the morning of November the 9th. We've got a northwest wind. We're going into the same spot we were 2 days ago. Had incredible movement, just didn't get the opportunity. So to change it up a little bit, we're gonna take the boss buck in. Hopefully that's gonna be the magic ticket to bring him in close. So we're gonna put our chips on the table and bet on this same location, see what's gonna happen. Before we knew it, it was go time. A buck was reeled in, he was 20 yards in front of us, working him over. We thought our game plan was spot on.
We just nailed a 10. It is 25 to 7. Me and Eric were talking, and boom, Eric says, 3-year-old, 3-year-old, 3-year-old. 5 minutes later, we got a 10 point at 15, 20 yards. Smacked him. Unbelievable. We smoked him. He's done. We got ourselves a solid Iowa giant on the ground. He is pouring. Yes! Yes! Woohoo! Well, here it is, November the 9th. To say that the 9th is a lucky number of mine is an understatement. We came in here 2 days ago, hunted this plot for the very first time, had buck activity everywhere, gave it a day's rest, so we gotta go back. Came back in with the boss buck, and by 6:35, we had a 3-year-old taunting the boss buck, and then within 3 or 4 minutes later, this guy shows up. 10 minutes later, we got a 12 ring, PSC hammers him down, and here we are in front of a beautiful Iowa whitetail.
One of the things that we're really meticulous about our logs and trying to keep track of what date we checked them, exactly how many photos we had on that particular flash card, how the battery life was, how they're performing, what settings we have them on. There's a whole litany of things that we like to check. You know, we're not just going to that camera to see exactly what deer are on it, even though that's important.
Did you ever put a camera out and then realize you got it in the wrong spot after you do an additional look at the place? I put it on that trail coming down the hill where there was 2 together. Spot was a little too tight. And then I went backwards, found a huge buck track taking this other shelf. So I'm gonna catch this movement and him over here.
Mark and I check our cameras at a little bit different times, but our log never really changes. Mine is such that I can go back and refer to that log a year later, 10 years later, and know exactly what happened to that camera on what day, how many pictures it had taken on that time period. It's really pretty beneficial.
If people wonder what we do with our spare time, well, here's an example. There's just some of the pictures we snapped last year with our reconics. You know, Mark and I talk about our reconics over and over and over and over. Well, here's the results of what we do each and every year. Typically, I'll take about 300,000 photos, Mark taking probably 500,000 each and every year. And there's a method to our madness. I mean, if you don't keep some sort of organization and some system, you kind of lose track of where your cameras are, what cards you've put in them, how many pictures you've taken. We keep some systematic method just so that we know what we're doing, where we're going, where we've been. That was last year. We start with a new slate this year. I haven't even marked it 2013 yet, but this is the new year. Everything's marked as far as where the cameras are located. And then I like to mark down the number of pictures when I open the camera up, and then whether the camera's functioning properly and whether it's at the right height and so on and so forth. So we'll go change this one out. This is the birthday set.
We're real meticulous about taking good notes and being able to refer back to them so we know exactly when that big mature buck was hitting that particular camera during daylight hours. You know, we spend a lot of time in the off season and even in the early season trying to get some of that brush out of the way, particularly in front of your reconics cameras or any camera for that matter. You know, if you got a little bit of wind and you got a few weeds, a few leaves and some brush in front of the camera, it's going to snap a lot of photos that you really don't care to look at. So take the time, take either a round point shovel or a mattock or something out there, a weed whip, whatever it might be, but go out there and get all that brush removed and get it down from in front of that camera. In addition to that, we like to do that early season for all of our sets. Access to and from that tree stand is so important because if you can get in there without leaving any scent on any brush in and around your tree stand, then you've accomplished about 90% of the battle when it comes to harvesting mature buck. I guess the moral of the story is if you stay extremely organized and meticulous with your Reconyx camera logs, it allows you to stay focused on a strategy. I've got a few deer on the farm, one in particular that's got a lot of age on him. He's the one I'm gonna go after. He was 6.5 years old last year. He's 7.5 this year to the best of my knowledge. We had a few encounters with him.
He's a toad. He's an old deer. He's a minimum of 5, and I think he's 6.5.
And we had nicknamed this deer J-Dub after John Williams, our farm manager. He and John were very similar. You know, they're always around, but you're never quite sure what they're doing or where they're at. So that's how he conned that name. But at any rate, we never really could figure out how to get on this deer and harvest him out of the sets that we had. Well, as a hunter, when you start studying Reconyx pictures as often as we do and as many as we do, you know, all of a sudden you get these harebrained ideas and say, you know what, I'm gonna build a box blind in the perfect spot. We've got last year's history with J-Dub, so we're gonna put this particular blind in just the right spot to harvest one particular deer with the archery tackle. Well, when you build a box blind in the perfect spot, you need the perfect crew. And I've got just that. We've got Chris Werner, who is the mastermind behind all of our box blinds. Then we've got the great John Williams, who's constructed many of them with Chris. We've got Zach, and we've got Adam Keene. So we've got a 4-man crew here that should be able to pull this thing off in pretty short order.
Jump out of the way, you little kid. You're in front of the camera.
You know, someone pointed out that the irony behind all of this is the fact that John Williams is helping or constructing a blind to harvest a deer named John Williams, J-Dub.
You two little darlings ready to go deer hunting?
Well, here it is, October the 25th. We're nearing that period in late season. Halloween's approaching. Time is right, weather is right, wind may or may not be right, but we've got the perfect spot. We're going to the new box that those guys constructed throughout the summer months, and the Reconyx pictures don't lie. A year to the date, on October the 25th, he was on this exact field, and it would be about 40 yards from that box to the scrape that he was on where the camera was located. In addition to that, got a picture of him last night, October the 24th. It's a little blurry because he's still moving a little bit, but it tells me that he's in the area and he's frequenting this particular food plot. So hopefully, if we have any luck, we'll get a look at him tonight.
Mr. J-Dub, I say he's big. I don't think he'll go 150, but he's old, he's mature, he's big, he's long, he's fat. Perfect. I just haven't quite narrowed it down to where we can catch him during daylight hours. The older he got, the more nocturnal he got, which is understandable. Whenever I can, I'm gonna open this window here.
Well, we had the encounter of all encounters, and these are windows that are specifically designed for this application. They're scent proof. You should be able to hunt them in any wind, which they do that. They work perfect, but it just so happens that box had settled just a little bit and the window popped. We waited till right at dark, and I was going to take a crack at him if he'd have got to 52 yards that evening because we've been shooting all year long. He just never got there during legal shooting hours. As luck would have it, after it was too dark and too late, he walked within 25 yards of the blind. So we've kept that in the back of our mind. We're going to tackle him one more time. We're going back in there. Here it is, November the 4th. Still trying to play the chess match with J-Dub.
Take our chances. Maybe tonight's the night to see old J-Dub.
We're on a beautiful, lush, green biologic field. We know there's several does hitting this field, and we know he's been frequenting this field as well. So hopefully he'll be a creature of habit and do just exactly like he's supposed to.
twice. Those popping windows cost us that deer. You know it. That's twice.
Well, I don't know whether you call it think long, think wrong, but we tried. I tried as slow and diligently as possible to open that window without making any noise. It didn't work, didn't happen. We had a doe right under us that not only caught her movement, but heard the popping sound, and then she blew, and as they say, the rest is history. November the 5th, hopefully third time's a charm.
We're after old Jada. He's been a creature of habit, although typically I don't get his picture the same place 2 days in a row, usually. So he may not be here tonight, but we saw him last night and he was frantically looking for a doe. So we're hoping that he shows back up tonight. Behind it, J-Dub, coming out. Come on. Well, our guess was right, our hunch was correct. I'm afraid to open the window. Well, we got J-Dub on the field. Our hunch was correct. I'm just praying that he gets within bow range here. I'd like for him to walk out front here. Oh, yeah, push it. Oh, no. Dadgum. Oh, you little dirty. Don't you do it. Foiled. She can come up here. Doggone her. Why she wouldn't squirt through here. Doggone, that one really hurts. I thought we were gonna get it done. I really did. We have prepared for this and went through it numerous times. I thought third time was a charm.
Well, I've had as much bad luck as you can possibly have on one deer. It's time to mix things up just a little bit. Mid-November, I'm gonna pile into the timber because that's the place to be. And you know what? There's a couple other shooters on the farm. J-Dub's not the only fish in the water.
Woo-wee! Pretty cold today. Well, here we are, November the 13th. I mean, this rut literally has passed us by. We're coming up on 60 days. Today is day 58, and we have yet to kill a deer. But sometimes it's a struggle. It takes a little longer than what one might think. And this year's been absolutely horrendous. EHD has taken its toll across the country, and we're hearing reports of a lot of deer found dead and just no shooters. In addition to that, the moon has been totally wrong all year. You know, it's rising in the afternoon right now. We were needing that at the end of October when that would have been operative as far as strategy is concerned when they're in that feeding pattern. So it's been way wrong, and so much of this activity has happened at night. You know, they've been extremely nocturnal, and the lack of big deer, older deer, has just made it nearly impossible because of does. We're seeing single does looking for bucks. That's a bad sign when you see single does walking around. So it's just been a struggle this year, and still here at day 58, we still haven't shot a buck. You know, you can't kill them if you don't hunt them, so that's what we're doing.
I have a novel idea. Let's try and kill a deer this morning. Well, we've got a cold morning here in North Missouri. I absolutely love this. We've been waiting on this all year, and we're just praying that we get a shooter in at about 20 yards today. I've been looking at the Reconyx pictures, and we picked up 2 or 3 new shooters. One of them's a Floppy. He's right here, hangs down a little bit. And then we got old J-Dub. I'm always looking for him. He's the one we came to kill, so we'll see. To get a drink this morning. Got skim ice. We like to talk about getting back to basics. Well, water is one of those things they just absolutely have to have during the rut when they're out running all night or looking or dogging or seeking, or even if they're with a doe locked down, they have to have water. What can I do? done. Oh yeah, drilling. Wow, what an unbelievable morning we've had here. Man, we had deer all over us. It's November the 13th. We just had a feeling. We had an absolute feeling here this morning. The reason I sat here was because of the Reconyx photos that I have of that deer. And the other morning he came through at 8:15, and here it is 8:30. And I thought, man, on a south wind, we got to get in here. I don't know how many guys are sitting in a pond or a water hole this morning, but by golly, middle of November, they are absolutely deadly. And all of our food is to the south. We've got Biologic Clover Plus, I've got Biologic Maximum, Biologic Winter Bulbs and Sugar Beets, and Biologic Radishes, and then I've got standing corn beyond that. And we were just, hoping and praying that they'd come off this food this morning, and they did just exactly that, and it couldn't have worked out any better. Woo! Drenched in blood was laying right on top. It's the first time I've ever had to grab an arrow off the ice. That's what we're looking for, that bright red lung blood with the air bubbles in it. Isn't that a pretty sight? Old Floppy. Look at the size of that thing. Before we move him, we're gonna go ahead and get a tag on him, make sure he's completely legal.
Can't say enough about the Rage and the PSE. One thing that we probably don't elaborate enough on is the mossy oak camo. When you're hanging 20 or 25 foot off the ground and you got deer all around you and all under you and you're trying to move and get by with some movement, you gotta depend on your camouflage. We rely on mossy oak and always have, always will. Well, now the work begins. We've got to get him loaded up and get him field dressed and get him out of here. So we're gonna do that.
He's trying to get downwind of us. All right, we gotta get busy.
Well, here we are on this beautiful day, November the 13th. Been hunting 58 days. That's not my record. 60 was my record a few years back, but it's been a tough season, and Mother Nature has a way of humbling all of us, and EHD has been absolutely catastrophic in many areas. When you take that top-end deer out of the herd, all of a sudden that seeking phase didn't need to happen. And with warmer temperatures that we've been experiencing, a lot of it happened at night, and they just didn't move during daylight hours like they normally do. It was really tough. So with that being said, we did strategize this morning. Yesterday I got some pictures of this particular deer on my Reconyx cameras. With the cold temperatures, we anticipated they'd be on food early this morning, and by golly, they were. They came off the food, and then the next logical thing is to go get a drink before they bed down, or even if they're up walking and chasing, they still gotta have water. And I think sometimes guys underestimate that. That's really one of the basics that we started with years ago, was trying to hunt a pond or a water hole there in the timber. And man, are they deadly at the right time of year.
And when it's November the 13th and you got cold weather and bucks are up on their feet, it is the right time of year. And as luck would have it, things worked out really, really well this morning for us.
Well, after a long, arduous 58 days of hunting, I finally got that monkey off my back, harvested a deer with the archery tackle. Now, I got firearm season ahead of me here. It's time to re-engage. I've got one deer in particular in mind, and that's old J-Dub. He's the one I'm after.
Well, we've got our first deer on the field here. The reason I chose this particular spot is because the buck I'm after, J-Dub, comes through here a lot. I got enough pictures here of him from last year on my Reconics. The camera's right there in front of us, about 60 yards, 50 yards. And I was just kind of going on past movement. They're really creatures of habit. So hopefully we'll catch him. If we don't, we got a few other options that we got to exercise here today.
Well, within moments after giving that interview, a nice deer pops out, and sure enough, the MRI was very, very accurate. Here it is, old J-Dub. We're gonna get a chance at him opening morning. Right off the bat, it just doesn't get any better than that.
I'm gonna wait till he turns broad. Now he's behind the brush for me. Just stay on him, Yapper. We got J-Dub on him. Yeah. See where he goes there. Well, I don't know. We will have to see. We'll have to look. Well, we played it right. Now, whether or not I hit him, that's a different story. I don't know. We'll have to go back, review the footage. We called it right. I went off of a bunch of Reconics photos here and had the opportunity. We just got to see if we got him.
Yapper and I went down there and searched far and wide and just couldn't find anything, so elected to go back to the bunkhouse and review the footage and see what everybody else saw that morning. You know, I was feeling pretty low when I got back there.
Ooh, I think right over the back, right?
Yeah.
No one's fault but mine here. Because I pulled.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know.
I mean, his back, you don't see anything. I believe he's perfectly okay.
Come to find out, J-Dub had 9 lives. Just was one of those deer that wasn't meant to be on the ground yet. So our annual shed hunt is upon us. Maybe we'll have a little bit of luck. We've got a lot of bucks we're looking for. We'll see if old J-Dub is still around.
I know exactly who that is. That's J-Dub, man. First time I've ever found a shed, and we're at least a mile or mile and a half from where I had all the encounters with it, and I've never seen him on this end of the farm, ever. I'll be dang. Oh yeah, look at that. I chased this deer all year, but he's kind of laughing last. He gave me one of these, maybe, I don't know.
Well, we have found out J-Dub is alive and well. He's still kicking. Even though these shed antlers that we have located and found are about 1.25 miles, a mile and a half from where typically I've had encounters with him, that's not a really, really long range for a whitetail of that age. Because they're creatures of habit, and because I've got a lot of Reconics pictures from not this past fall, but the previous fall, I'm gonna put all the pieces of the puzzle together and line out our strategy for next season. Hopefully the outcome will be substantially different.
Well, Doug and I are headed back to Illinois. Talk about being excited. All we got to do is pop up that big game ground blind, and we are going to do some damage.
We're sitting there hunting hard. All of a sudden,
Just stay calm. Just stay calm, Rodney. You got the camera?
Ain't good.
Not now.
I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know. I know you're doing what you're doing.
There's here right in front of you, right in front of you, right in front of you.
It's a good thing you're standing here filming this. You don't know whose dog that is?
No, I don't.
He was just doing what he does.
after that fiasco, Rodney wanted to pull the blind. We decided we weren't going to pull the blind.
We're going back to our infamous point stand where we had a little encounter with a buck called Fireball.
Oh, Rodney went off like a Roman candle.
The rain started coming, then it turned to sleet. But before we put the camera up, we did see bucks crossing that field. The thing about it, we could see the blind that we'd been hunting where your best friend, the farmer, came by and visited us.
We had actually seen a shooter go across in front of the ground blind at about 10:30 that morning. We're gonna head into that blind. You know, the big shooter walked across, looked like 20, 25 yards in front of the blind, went into the bedding area with the doe, so maybe tonight he'll come out and we'll get a shot at him.
We just got back in. We're trying to get dried out a little bit. We've already got 2 does and a buck already came out. It's like 1:15, I think, or so. It's miserable, but these are the days that they big ones move. We're gonna kill them.
We're in the blind. We've been sitting there 5 or 6 hours now.
And we both looked at each other. It was one of them days we thought we had made the biggest mistake we'd ever made.
Okay, now it's time to get serious.
But, you know, all it takes is one hot doe, and we knew where she was at. And if she come out in that field, she was gonna have that big buck right behind her. That doe comes running out in the field. You know, the big buck came out right behind her, but when he came out in the field, he turned and went directly away from us and went out to about 100, 110 yards and just stood out there like he was just challenging everyone to come out in that field. And our only hope was that them does that were feeding in front of us, he was, after getting his belly full, he was gonna turn and come to us. And lo and behold, that's what he did.
Here he comes, get ready. Don't go that way. Where'd this doe go? He's coming back. How far is he? Oh, right now about 60. There's another doe coming out to the left. Wide open right there. Yeah, I gotta get my beat set. You got him. You got him good. I got him, yes. Come on, baby, go down right now. He's not gonna go down, but you got him.
Well, it looked to me like you center punched the deer. That 2-blade rage we knew was gonna put the deer down. It was just a matter of how long it took.
I think we're gonna be good. We're not even gonna look for him tonight. We'll look for him in the morning. Guess what? What? Get back in the light. What? That's your mama's buck. Yeah, I know. That's for your mama's. We gotta find that one, buddy. We will. I'm proud of you. That was a good deer, dude. You did good, man. You did good.
Oh, man. Let's talk about an emotional roller coaster. Doug, thanks so much for being here.
Been a long, tough season for me. You know, I lost my best friend on opening day in Missouri bow season that actually got me started in this bow hunting madness. My mom's fighting a valiant effort against cancer, and she's not doing very well at all. I really don't know what to say. I mean, I just feel very blessed to have come in here and hunted this deer. And this morning, we walked in here 50 yards and found him laying here by a cedar tree. You know, probably where this deer spent most of his life, on this hillside bedding area. But I just feel very, very blessed.
All right, well, it's December the 26th. It's about 38 degrees, so I won't have to get bundled up too much.
It's muzzleloader season here in Missouri. I get to go with one of my favorite hunting partners, Deanna. It's one day before her birthday, same day she shot her deer last year, and we're going after a deer named No Name. No Name is like the #1 hit list buck on this farm. He disappeared on November 3rd. We haven't had any pictures of him, no encounters. On the 24th, I go down into the bottom, check the Reconyx camera, and it is loaded up with daylight pictures of No Name on there.
I hope that's not all we see tonight.
We're scaring everything off.
I'm not scaring them away. I'm hoping we'll see some actually bucks tonight.
This field is his home field area. This is his base. This is where he stays and where he moves through the most. We've got pictures from last year. We had 3 encounters in this field with this deer last year, and he's back showing his face during daylight.
There's a buck coming down the hill. He's coming right towards us.
And I got Deanna with the Thompson Center in the blind, and she's gonna put a hurt on this deer.
Is he one I can shoot or no?
Yes, it's No Name.
Should I go ahead and cock it?
No.
Okay.
It's gonna take him a while to come out. You can cock it, just picture it, pull it all the way back. Don't get too excited, baby. He's gonna come right to us. You can shoot him whenever you want to, just let me know. Just taking a couple nice, easy breaths. You ready?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I think you missed him. I'm positive you missed him. No, you didn't. He's going down. He's going down.
I thought I missed him.
I thought you did too. Oh my God.
I actually hit him.
You got him, baby. And he is a giant.
I'm shaking so
That's fine. He's so big.
Oh my God, hon. So excited. Thank you. I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too, baby.
Well, this is officially the first day of my vacation. What a great day to start my vacation. Spent some time up here with Rodney, seen some turkeys, weren't sure if we were gonna see anything at all. This deer came in, we've had some good shots of him down in this area, so we thought we'd come up here and give it a shot. Maybe we'd see him, and sure enough we did. He came out and gave me a good shot. I guess now I get to film for you. Is that how it works?
Nah, I doubt it.
Well, it's time for shotgun season here in Illinois. It's how I cut my teeth hunting. Just coming off a high of last week, killing the biggest deer of my life in Iowa with Tom Ware. Now it's time to get back to work and make up a little bit of time. But looking at the forecast and seeing how opening day is gonna be rainy and cold, didn't hurt my feelings too bad. But tonight, Brandon's gonna drive 8 hours, be here to film me on day number 2.
All right, here we go. We're rolling into the farm. My brother-in-law's let me sneak on his farm tonight. We got a stand he's got up that nobody's hunted yet. It's on cut corn, and should be good. High pressure, sunny skies, clear, cold, and it's getting colder as the night goes, so we think they will be coming into corn. We'll see. Nice draw. I don't know. Time will tell. It is the second afternoon of Illinois gun season. Taking the old TC smoke pole in.
Started off kind of slow, closer to dark, a few does started to move, and then I hear the magic words, shoot her on the hill.
Oh, Greg, that's a big fucker.
Matt, got him. Kill him.
Holy cow, dude. That's a smoker 8-point, buddy.
Yeah, it's a big old 8-point. We've had does out on us all afternoon. We got a cut cornfield here. And he came in to check these does. He went back in the thicket, and I saw a doe come out, and dude, he wasn't, but he was right there, man. I don't know, I think maybe he dropped out over this edge. I'm just shook up right now, I really don't know. It's the unknown right now. What a big old 8-point. Oh, baby. We needed that.
Talking about.
We needed that, Brandon. Jeez, what a year we're having, baby.
Right.
What a year we're having.
Just want to go on the ridge right over there.
Got him right here, baby, in the ditch.
Yeah, you punched his heart out for him. Yeah, son.
Boom, baby. Yeah, Illinois. Yeah. Oh, man down. Man down. First season Illinois, either sex. Oh my goodness, Brandon. Look at this guy. Oh, baby.
Here we are, came out the next morning, the morning after the kill, and we wanted to get some good pictures of it because we want to seize the moment. You know, it's oftentimes so rushed to try to get all the video and footage and everything we want to get for the deer, but we wanted to slow down because a year like Brandon and I are having is maybe even once in a lifetime. Both of us knocking down gross boons and getting to be with each other for this one here. And what a great Illinois deer. He's 20.5 inches wide. What a magnum. What a stud. We think he's 5.5 years old. He's a deer that's on my brother-in-law's farm, actually, and couldn't thank him enough for letting me come hunt the deer. Looked at the forecast. Brandon and I talked it over and said, you know what? The temperature, the pressure, everything's going to be right the next day. And he drove 7.5 hours to come film us to think we could get it done, and we did get her done. Roller coaster's going nothing but up right now and could not be happy. What an Illinois Magnum 8-point.
Well, today is July the 29th. Normally we plant in August, but we're going to be pretty busy with some things going on, so we're going to go ahead and plant now, probably about 2.5 weeks earlier than what we usually plant. Planting a couple different things here. Got some winter bulbs and sugar beets, and we're also planting some deer radishes. This little plot right here was awesome last year. It's only about in between a quarter and half an acre. It should be really, really nice. I'm really anxious to hunt it. It's gonna be really good early season.
What we got going on? I don't know what's going on. I'm in total state of confusion. Well, it's August 16th, and this is the start of our 2013, actually pre-deer season, I guess you could call it. We're gonna check all of our straps on our stands and make sure they're all good, no squirrels have chewed on them or anything. Trim out what needs trimmed, and we gotta actually hang about 2 new sets. And luckily the weather's nice. It's like high of 80 today. The humidity's low, the wind's out in the northeast, so pretty comfortable day to be doing this kind of work this time of year. So we're lucky there.
Going into the 2013 deer season, we just came off an extreme high of being in Alaska. We hunted for 9 days, killed a great bull moose for Bow Madness, and we could not wait to get started deer hunting. Well, you know, the first couple weeks of the rut in November came and went, and I did not see a single shooter the first half of the season. You know, I hunted several days with my dad, hunted with John Williams, and just no bucks in general. You know, I had about 7 days off to rifle hunt, but it just was not working out. We were not seeing the deer, we were not seeing any shooter bucks, and actually our pictures went dark, sightings of deer in general were down, and it just was not looking good for us. You know, one of the great things about rifle season is you don't even have to have a tree stand. Now that we kind of decided to do something old school, I found a spot during shed season. It was tore up a sign, and we weren't able to get a stand hung in there because it was going to be really tough to get the wind. But I knew on the 24th of November that we were going to have a south wind the next day, and I told my dad I know just the spot to go.
Today is November the 25th. We're doing something kind of a little bit different, kind of getting back to the roots of Missouri rifle season. Dad and I just came in here this morning, and we're sitting in the middle of a big patch of timber. It's a good spot to catch one cruising. It can be pretty effective. Feels like we're turkey hunting, sitting next to a tree, so. Dude, right here, right here, right here, right here. Got him, baby. He's down. He's down. Yes. Yes. I told Dad, I said, he's a real pretty 9-pointer. I think he's the skinny 9 that we have here. He went about 30 yards, fell, and rolled back down the hill.
This was kind of going old school, kind of back to the tradition of Missouri rifle season. Just go sit by a tree in a spot you know that deer filter through and deer cruise through, and it just worked out perfectly for us.
He's got nice long points, nice brows. I'm happy as can be.
Man, what a really cool hunt we had this morning. Today's November the 25th, and this is one of the latest I've ever killed a buck in November. This is a beautiful buck. We call him the skinny 9-point. You know, it just worked out great. He blew into a really nice buck, still has the skinny tines. It was really cool how we killed him this morning. We actually I found this spot during shed season, and it was just loaded with sign. There was buck rubs and scrapes everywhere. And we came in here this morning knowing that the sign was here and just sat on the ground. We hunted old school today. Everybody grew up hunting in Missouri with rifles, just going into timber and sitting by a tree. And that's exactly what we did this morning, killed a great buck. It was just a really cool hunt. It's been a terrible, terrible season for seeing deer in general, not just bucks. I don't know what happened. I don't know if we lost some deer from EHD,
but it's just been really slow, and it feels good to finally have your hands on a nice buck. Beautiful, beautiful deer.
Sitting here watching a little bow madness, and I think I just heard Ben pull up. Come on in, brother. What's going on? Welcome, welcome. We're actually in Iowa, but the farm is just across the border into Missouri, so it works out perfect.
Tom's gonna show me some pictures of this deer that we're after. It's called bowing. Tom's been doing his homework. He's had his cameras out. We're just gonna leaf through them here real quick with the camera and let Tom kind of explain a little bit about the deer.
A little over a month ago, I got some daylight photos of him right there. Look at him, there's a good straight on view. That's why we call him bowing right there. He's just wide. Last year, he was even wider than this, but he wasn't as heavy.
Well, let's go hang a set for him.
Let's do it. I think we can slip in there. It's kind of windy.
We got a little rain, cover our scent.
Yeah.
It's supposed to dry out
Let's
tonight.
Just slip in there and be as quiet as possible.
Yeah. High pressure's coming in. They should move.
Yeah. It's supposed to be sunny this afternoon. That'd be perfect. Grab a couple stands, buddy, and we will head to Missouri. You ready to head?
I'm ready to head. Well, we're just gonna slip in, hang the stand. It's raining pretty hard right now. We just looked at the radar. It's gonna blow over. It's gonna get high pressure this evening. So we're just gonna slide in here, get this stand hung, and we'll catch back up with you here this afternoon. Once the front blows through and the sun comes out and starts drying things out, I know those deer are gonna move tonight. Just got that feeling, don't you, Tom?
For sure, buddy.
Yeah. Well, we're in Missouri. We're on Tom's farm that he bought last year. We slid in here today and moved a stand to a spot on some of these green beans that are planted in this old CRP field. We're hoping we're gonna see some deer. Check back in with you here and hopefully see some bucks. What just happened? One freaking deer. Oh my God. The only freaking deer on this whole freaking farm, and we just killed it. Our idea was right, buddy. When we got into the tree, we didn't do a pre-hunt interview. We didn't do the normal things we normally do because we knew that that deer was bedded close. He beds 2 different spots basically on this farm. So we knew that these green beans were over here. Me and Tom slid in here, hung a stand for this wind tonight. We haven't talked, nothing. We sat down. I did my ranging. We've seen 1 deer in 2 days, and it was the deer we just wanted to kill. He's dead. It's a beautiful 8-point with some stickers. I killed one of his great deer, so now the favor's gonna get returned, so. I'll tell you what, it just doesn't get a whole lot better than this for September 16th. Early season. This is the earliest I've ever killed a deer in my life. I killed a deer on the first day of season a few years ago, and now I killed one on the second day of Missouri season. All I can say is thanks to Tom Ware for sharing his farm with me.
Thank you, buddy. It's just the most enjoyment for me. This is awesome.
Just a stud. I mean, that's all I can say is a stud. Tom had pictures of this deer last year, found his sheds. Just feels good to be able to put your knowledge of deer and just what deer should do and put it to use, and it'd pay off. Well, after harvesting bowing in Missouri with the help of Tom on Tom's Missouri farm, I had one more thing I had to accomplish while I was in the Midwest. Kill a deer in November on public land. The rut is on in Iowa. It's November 9th today. I'm just sitting here all day. I'm not getting out. After 3 days of hard hunting and scouting, day number 4 paid off. Yeah. I was able to perform the task. My camera work wasn't all the best because I was trying to film myself, but it was a great hunt, killed a great deer. So far this year for 2013, I've had a really good year. Other than chasing a deer that I called Misery for 2 years, I kind of started concentrating my efforts on another deer. The reason I called him Jitters was because my son had an encounter with him earlier in November.
Did that pump you up a little?
Yes. Kind of got the shakes, and so we just called the deer Jitters. I started doing my reconics work on Jitters, started getting some good pictures of him in daylight. I had a ground blind set up in an area. So I went in, got set up in the ground blind, and it wasn't long, all of a sudden Jitters came onto the scene.
Yes, baby, smoked. Can't make it. He's trying to get up that hill, he can't do it. He ain't got no lungs. It's a 5.5-year-old deer. I just don't get him a whole lot. He doesn't come in here a lot, but he finally came in tonight. I'm filming myself. It's tough. That's the Big 10. That's the deer I've had in here. I think I just took him out right there. I can see him laying dead right there on the hill. I actually want to find this blood trail. I can see the deer laying there, but I love looking at blood trails. There he is. Oh yeah. We got a big old 10. You just can't complain about that too much, can you? Well, here he is. Big old 10-pointer. Just a beautiful buck, man. In the snow, late December, right before Christmas. Just a beautiful, beautiful buck. It's not my biggest deer ever, but I'll tell you, he's a giant with a bow. He's a big deer, so I'm real pleased. I feel really blessed, and I just want to thank the good Lord for allowing me to be able to participate in this sport. And I want to thank this deer for giving me his life, and just what these deer go through, you know, it's amazing how they survive, and they're just creatures that I never get enough of them. I just never do. Feels good to be done.
Well, here we are, December the 21st. Been waiting for this for a month now. Opening day of Missouri's muzzleloader season. We're gonna go sit in the box blind. I've got 11 acres of standing beans we're gonna go hunt over. And I have a feeling we got a big front coming in tonight. They're giving 5 to 8 inches of snow here for us here in North Missouri. We're gonna go get in and see what tonight brings. Hopefully we have a good evening. We just got crawled in the blind. We haven't been here, honestly, more than 15 minutes. We had a 150-inch deer come across, and as I was glassing him, the deer that I'm after in my 170 is just stepped out. He's out, and he's going to come across like the other one did. I have a feeling he's moving east or west to east right now a little bit, so I'm going to wait for him to get even with me. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot and see. I got, you know, the pro hunter here. I feel confident out to 200 yards with it, so.
like it hit it, didn't he? I couldn't tell, Chris. I felt confident when I squeezed the trigger. His tail was up as he was leaving the field. That was the only bad sign of the whole thing. If it smoked us out so bad, neither one of us could really tell. We're gonna back the footage up and watch it here in the blind real fast. Go from there. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. He's a giant deer, big deer.
Here we go, December 22nd, second night of Missouri's muzzleloader season. I seen the deer that I'm after last night, shot at him, missed him. Hopefully I didn't spook him too bad last night to where he won't come back out on the beans. They've got to eat, so they're slaves to their stomach, as we say. We'll see here in just a little bit. We're getting ready to get parked here, finish getting dressed, and head up to the blind. We got a short little walk up here, over 11 acres standing beans, and we'll continue this at the blind.
Getting stacked full of deers. We got one really nice 3.5-year-old, got big bladed G2s on both sides, 8-pointer out there right now. And another buck just come out up here. There's our boy. There's one rafter. He just come out right up there in the corner. Closer than he was last night. When he gets up there even, I'm gonna try him. I felt good with it, you know, and he acted to hit that time. His tail was tucked. Like I said, it looked like he dropped right there at the edge of the brush. Looked like he went down. Oh, man. I would highly recommend putting a bigger door in your box blind if you ever build one. It could be a little easier to get in and out of. We'll walk up here. I have a feeling he'll be dead, and he should be laying right up here, hopefully. We went to where I hit him at, and we have not found any blood yet, which is a bad thing about a muzzleloader. They usually don't bleed very much, but I mean, we haven't found a speck. Right there he is. There he is.
Well, tickled to death to be sitting behind this North Missouri deer tonight. We came in here last night, and I missed him. I shot the TC last night, shot it a bunch last night, actually. And for some reason, I shot it last Sunday, and I thought I had it zeroed in real good. I guess I just didn't have it zeroed in as well as I thought I had. A lot of deer out there tonight. Had filled this flat stack full of deer. And when this one finally stepped out of the brush, I knew it was him just as soon as I laid eyes on him. I knew it was the same deer. I think I might have one single picture of this deer. He's not a homeboy. He's something that's moved in here during rifle season. I don't, didn't get a single picture of this deer all summer or anything. We're tickled to death to be in there behind him. We'll get him hauled out of here, get him in the back of the old Ram, and go show him off a little bit.
With the outbreak of EHD in the summer of 2012 and the summer of 2013, I immediately started to see the population within my farms changing. And it was taking a toll on my mature buck population. 36 dead bucks to EHD in winter kill, so That's not good news, but we knew it was coming. I mean, it was head after dead deer, after dead giant, after missing buck, after MIA. They just kept rolling in. And I really felt like going into the fall of 13, I needed to have somewhat of an insurance plan. And Dan Thurston introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Daryl Burchell. Daryl is from Texas. He has killed as many big deer as anybody I've seen in Texas. And he and I started chatting, and he said, I've got a lease not far from Abilene, and I think if you came down and looked at it, you would really enjoy the makeup of this particular ranch. And the name of the ranch is the Stasny Cook Ranch. Now, this ranch is 23,000 acres. There's 17 members on it. There's only 2 or 3 that bow hunt. And Daryl just talked about how active these bucks were during the rut. And I said, you know what, sign me up. But I'm coming to Texas, and I want to try and do it Midwestern style, or Drury Outdoors style, if you will. So I hopped on a plane midsummer, and I went and looked at the ranch and looked at the terrain, and we started putting cameras out. We were putting cameras on trails, we were putting them on historical scrapes, and we were trying to take an inventory, if you will, of what style bucks were on this ranch. Well, the results started pouring in. We start getting buck after buck in velvet during the summer, and I'm like, holy cow, Daryl and Dan, you have led me in the right direction. I am pumped to get down there and start out the bow season in October. Well, good morning. We are headed south, and we're going to spend the bulk of the October lull down in the Lone Star State and not fight all the acorns and all the non-moving deer back here in the Midwest. And one thing's for sure, we're going to have some fun. We're headed south to Texas. Here we come. Welcome to Texas, our home for the next week. We are going to change things up a little bit. It's probably been 10 years since I've been to Texas. I used to come every season. We're down here, we're looking for a good week, and we cannot wait to get in the blind. No tree stands here. Tallest tree's about this tall, so it's all big game redemption.
Come on.
Carol.
Where are these? We have more snakes this year than we've had in a long time.
For real?
Yeah, especially in and out of the blind. You take them off and stick the blind.
And they can't get through that?
I can't get through that. But if I was you, I'd let Wade go first.
And then walk?
Let him walk first. Okay. Get you some of that, bozo. We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Poor Wade. Wade and I go down there in October, and the bucks just weren't moving very well. We had some good bucks on camera. We checked cameras when we got there. Who dat? Oh, that's that heavy 10, right? There's the big 8. That's 6. That's the earliest I've seen. But a lot of it was happening at night. You know, imagine that. Daytime highs were hitting 80, 90 degrees.
The thing I probably didn't think through all the way was just how hot it is in Texas during the October lull. It's hot. Brilliant.
And we kept trying, we kept sitting. We were seeing some hogs, but we really weren't seeing what we were looking for until finally, the last night of the hunt, a buck that we knew from our Reconyx cameras showed up.
I think the 10's now. Yeah, I'm on him good.
always a sad day when you're leaving. After about a week here in Texas, we've come to the conclusion that the October lull is the October lull. Wade and I head back to the Midwest and we said, you know what? This will not be our last trip to Texas, but the next time we're coming, we're gonna watch the forecast and we're gonna hit a cold front. November comes and goes. We have a great Midwestern rut. And then I'm talking to Daryl. He said, man, it's cooking down here. They're doughed up and they're starting to free up. It was early December. Wade and I headed south to the Lone Star State once again. Normally you think of Texas, you think 70-degree weather and south winds. Here it's north winds and it's 23 degrees outside right now. Oh, I love Texas. It's a little rough down here in the Lone Star State. Looked at the forecast. Luckily, we brought extra clothes because it is nasty out there. I mean nasty. This Texas cold front almost made us feel like we were back in Iowa. And in my mind, I'm like, is this going to make these deer move or is it going to shut them down? And it didn't take long to answer that question.
We're in here nice and early, and we're 200 to 300 yards off a pretty major food source, a wheat field. There's a road that goes through this particular valley, hollow, Sendera, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from. There's a big ridge there that actually curls around this way, and it gives us enough protection on this north wind. Like, we're a little bit more excited right now than we were when we got out of the truck because it feels pretty calm in here. We're pretty pumped. That's a start anyway. That'll warm you up. Oh, buck. Right here, right here. Nice buck. I got great photos of that deer. It's nice to see they're moving. We've had 3 does come out. And then this guy just came in from our left and just surprised the heck out of us. Nice buck. I think he's probably 3.5 or 4.5. Nice deer though, out cruising. And that's what we like. It's December the 6th, and there's a lot more rut activity here than what we've been seeing at home. This cold weather's doing it though. I mean, you put snow on the ground, and you're gonna have deer get up and move. That was awesome right there. Hopefully one of those bigger ones shows up. It is cold, cold, cold. I've said it a few times already this morning, but this is worse than Iowa weather. Oh, that's a really big buck right there. That's that Big 10, William. That's a Big 10. Oh yeah, that works. Look at the blood coming out of him. He's down, he's going down. I still see him running. He's still running, don't ask me how. I think he's down right there. I think we just got the Big 10 point. Are you kidding me, man? All this weather and this snow. Are you kidding me? We're sitting there freezing our tails off. The wind's 20 mile an hour. The wind chill's 0 degrees. The actual temperature 20. It feels like we're in Iowa. Not only from the weather, the size of that deer. We got so many pictures of that thing. He is a giant for Texas. I mean, big, wide deer. How much fun is this? Oh, blast. If you don't dig this, man, you're just not living. We're so blessed to get to do this stuff and enjoy it day in and day out. Yes, baby. That's the way we like them, baby. That's the way we like them. Nice and red. Can you even believe the blood trail? I mean, it's crazy. Look right there. See him? Yeah. Awesome. Happiness at the end of the blood trail. As soon as we laid eyes on this deer, Wade and I knew exactly who he was. It's the wide 10. That's why we've got him propped up here so you can see the width of this deer. We've got so many different pictures of this buck. I was sure happy to see him coming off that cactus and snow-filled hillside. Luckily, he gave us a shot there at 33 yards, and the Evo found its mark, the Rage did its trick, and how about that blood trail? Oh, he's awesome, man, just awesome. What a great start to our Texas winter wonderland down here. I think I'll sell the farms, buy a Romo jersey, and move to Dallas. How's that sound? Fun stuff. We get the buck, we get him in the Ram truck, we're headed back to camp. I cannot wait to show the guys back at camp.
What's up, Bubba?
How you doing?
I'm well, and yourself?
Good. Come here, I got something to show you.
You're kidding me.
No, come here, buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Look who showed up.
Look who showed up to town to play.
Look who wanted to play the game, bro. How about that, bud? Thank you so much.
Good
man.
stuff, man.
Thank you.
That's 3 years of that deer.
Yes, sir.
He's an old one too, man.
Yeah. Part of the success of this particular hunt, or most of the success really, is Daryl's reconnaissance from years past. I mean, he helped take the 23,000 acres and narrow it down to 4 or 5 different setups that we have. I put reconics out, trying to see who was in the area, that type of stuff, and I really owe a lot of the success to Daryl, and a big thank you. So Daryl was happy, we were happy. Just what a great way to end the trip. I got to throw a huge thank you out to Dan Thurston for introducing me to Daryl, for Daryl for showing me the ropes, helping us out, and to Bill Hill, the actual wildlife manager there on the ranch. All those guys helped me and Wade out, and they made us feel like we were coming home every time we went down to Texas. I know one thing, I will be back. Thanks so much, guys. Great times down there in Texas. There you have it, some 14 or 15 hunts from the Drury Outdoors library. We had a very challenging fall last year.
Hey, Mark.
Oh, man. Mother Nature threw us a curveball we didn't think we'd ever see. Oh, no. We literally lost between the summer of 2012 and the fall of 13. I will bet you 75 to 80% of the buck herd, and perhaps the entire deer herd, on my farms there in Missouri and Iowa, and Terry had similar experiences. As we talk to people all throughout the shows and all across the country, the numbers keep rolling in, 50, 60, 70% herd loss. It is scary times right now out in the whitetail woods because it's a new norm, if you will. We're dropping back to numbers we haven't seen since the 80s or 90s. So now we have to be diligent about our management choices. We've got to make the right choices when it comes to food plots, health, nutrition, everything you can do to help your herd, you should. Thanks for tuning in on this Drury Outdoors production. As we always say, it was created for you.